So my job obviously is to get your home sold as quickly as possible and for as much money as possible. So naturally the question is, how do I intend to do it? So I want to go into detail right now about some of the things that we do in order to market your house and to gain as much exposure as possible in order to try and find the right buyer for it. So one of the first things that we do is we syndicate our listings out to over 1,000 different websites that are real estate related across the United States and globally. The biggest of which are going to be Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com and all those guys, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. There's literally thousands of these websites, and we syndicate to all of them. Biggest point is we want as much exposure as we possibly can, but we also want to make sure that your listing is being presented accurately based on the information that we're putting out, not information that they're gathering and compiling for their own site. So we want to make sure that all of those guys have accurate, detailed information about your particular listing. So the next thing, obviously, in line is photography. As I've said in other videos, we're going to bring in our professional photographer. He's going to shoot your home in HDR still, as well as 4K 60 frame per second video. We're also going to do walkthrough tours using 360-degree camera equipment shot with the same criteria. And we're going to utilize all that to create both short-form tours as well as full-length, full online guided tours so that we can highlight all the different things that make your house unique, all the things that you love about the house, and we're going to distribute that across all of our avenues. We're going to do professional floor plans and measurements. We're going to bring in a third-party company to do full-on measurements, and they're going to design floor plans, detailed floor plans that show the exact layout of your house. Now, part of the reason that we do this is so that we can provide those floor plans to potential buyers so that they can see whether or not the flow of your house fits their family dynamic. It may be that it doesn't, which in that case it makes it more efficient for both them and us so that we're not putting each other out with a showing. On the other hand, someone may assume that your house doesn't have something from a photo or something in particular. They see the floor plan, they realize, hey, this is a feature that we can't live without. We need to go see this house. The other part of having the house measured, as I've mentioned in another video, is we want to make sure that your house is exactly the size that we think it is, because tax records are rarely accurate. And if we sell your house at a size that it is not, and someone determines later on that it's actually smaller, they could potentially come back and possibly even want some kind of reimbursement because they thought they were buying something bigger than it actually was. On the flip side, if we shortchange ourselves and the house is bigger than we think it is, we're leaving money on the table. So that's a huge benefit to have that company come in and do the measurements and the floor plans. We're also going to create an exclusive property website that's exclusive to your home. So the property website will have a URL that's specific to your house. We usually use the address. And potential buyers or passersby can actually go to this website, see all of the photography, see all the details, everything about the house, all of the video, the walkthrough tours, everything will be in one site. So it allows them to keep coming back to it, which again makes them take ownership, especially if they're seeing 10 or 12 or 15 houses that day, and all they have to go on the other houses is just an MLS sheet. Signage is obviously important when it comes to marketing a house, and unlike other real estate agents that throw 10 of their exact same signs out across all their listings, our signs are uniquely different and they're exclusive to each property, which means the sign that sits in front of your home is going to actually be your home. It's going to be a picture of it, along with a QR code that says something like "See inside" or "For more information." When a potential buyer or passerby sees that sign, most of them are going to take a picture of that QR code. And what it's going to do is, one, it's going to capture some of their information so that we can go back to them and remarket to them. But it's also going to deliver them to the website that we have designed. And all of the information about your house is going to be right there at their fingertips. So if they're out for a Sunday drive just looking at houses on their own, they don't have a real estate agent, whatever, they're going to have all the details of your home sitting right there at their fingertips. So it goes without saying when it comes to social media that every real estate agent is going to post your listing on their Facebook page. Posting doesn't mean a hill of beans. We take a different approach. We advertise across all platforms when it comes to social media. It doesn't matter if you've got 300 friends on your Facebook page. A real estate agent, it's either their family or someone they have sold a house to or someone they've bought a house with. It doesn't matter if we post something on our Facebook page. We're going to actually advertise so that we can target specific demographics where we're allowed and try to find people that might actually be a potential buyer for your house. So we're going to we're going to advertise across the board on Facebook, Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, anywhere that we can effectively market to potential home buyers. We're going to do that, and we're going to take it a step further. We're going to take the description that we have in MLS of your house, and using artificial intelligence, we're going to have it take that description and customize it, make it SEO friendly to the specific platform that we're going to advertise on, because LinkedIn likes things to be done a different way than Facebook. And Facebook, obviously, you don't do it the same way you do on Instagram. So we're going to take each of those platforms and have artificial intelligence custom design and engineer the verbiage that's being used in your advertisement to be as SEO, search engine friendly, as possible to their particular platforms, which is going to give us the most exposure humanly possible across all those platforms. One other avenue for marketing that we use is very high-end literature. We do not use your 8.5 by 11 notebook paper, Xerox, black and white copies that most real estate agents put in their little binders at the street. We do very, very high-end, professionally designed, professionally presented, or printed real estate literature. This particular one here, 16 pages printed on 100-pound cardstock. This was mailed to over 1,000 local residents that surrounded this particular house. Everybody who was more than aware that this house was for sale, and they could see every piece of it. It was incredibly effective. So if we have enough time to produce this type of material, we do that as well when it comes to marketing our listings. So another avenue that we use, and it's incredibly successful for us, is email marketing. I happen to have a database of over 20,000 local subscribers here in Mooresville and Lake Norman. 15 to 16,000 of those are local residents, and the other 4,000 or so are actually real estate agents, believe it or not. I send out a newsletter every month. It's called the Mooresville Minute. The open rate on that newsletter is over 50%, which by industry standards, a 3 to 5% open rate when it comes to email marketing is considered exceptional. Our open rate is over 50%. So we take the popularity of the Mobile Minute newsletter that we do, and we also use that database when we have listings to send out a very customized email that showcases and highlights your listing that way, which is proven to be incredibly effective. We also take advantage of open houses and brokers' opens, just like most other real estate agents do. The difference is we take a different approach. I'm not particularly a fan of open houses. I find that most of those are generally just looky-loos that are coming and they just want to see what you've got inside your house. I'm more of a fan of brokers' opens. Your typical brokers' open, though, only has between 4 or 5 people generally show up. We take a different approach when it comes to a broker's open. We go all out. So not only do we market it heavily for the days leading up to the broker's open, but one, we professionally cater it and we go all out. Our last broker's open was professionally catered. We had a local brewery there serving, their craft beers. We also offered 2 incentives. One was a raffle for a $200 bottle of collector's bourbon. And we also offered a $200 gift certificate to Capital Grille. Your typical broker's open has about 5 people show up. Our broker's open had over 80 people show up, and they all hung out for 3 hours touring that home. As a matter of fact, that's what sold this particular house. So another avenue that we may pursue is press releases. Given Lake Norman being such a desirable location to both relocate to and for vacationing, we tend to get a lot of attention. And there's no guarantees, but depending on the value of your house or the uniqueness of it or its location, we've had a lot of success with getting local as well as national news publications to pick up and run little articles and stories on different homes as they hit the market. Usually a lot easier with some of the local ones, but we have had success with Wall Street Journal, with USA Today, with New York Times. So again, depending on the house, there's a high probability that we could get some national exposure when it comes to marketing your home. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what it's like to list with us and what you can expect when it comes to marketing your home and trying to get as much money as we can for it in as short amount of time as we possibly can. There's so many more options that we can discuss when we have a chance to meet in person, but in the meantime, if you want to call, text, email me any questions you might have, feel free to do so anytime, and I look forward to the time when we can meet.